Jai Shri Gurudev. Now we'll go for revision of Module 1 Curved Beams. So first we should know about what are beams. Beams are slender member that carries a transverse load or external movement. Example for beams are railway track, or the beams of a building, bridges of the building, etc. Then beams are classified here based on the axis of the beam. Here the two axes will come. One is if you join all the centroidal or center of the geometry of the cross section of the beam, then you call it the centroidal axis. And another one, if what are the stresses, how the stresses are distributed with respect to the axis, the stresses are zero, then you call it neutral axis. Based on the axis of the beam, if the axis of the beam, the centroidal axis of the beam is straight, then it's called as a straight beam. If the centroidal axis is not straight, it's in curved in nature, it's called as a curved beam. The straight beams are the beams of the building, railway track, bridges, etc. Those are straight beams. Curved beams are example for curved beams are arches, the frames of the machineries such as pressing machine, shaping machine, milling machine, and C clamps, S clamps, chain links, closed rings. Those are example of curved beams. Now we'll go first difference between straight beam and curved beam. How do you make a differentiate here? First we'll go for definition, how the axes are located. In straight beam axis is straight, in curved beam axis are curved in nature, not straight. That's the first difference. Second difference, we'll go for how the stresses are occurred in straight beam by applying a pure bending moment equation such as mb by I is equal to sigma b by y is equal to E by r. From that you'll get bending stress is equal to mb by I into y. Then how the stresses are distributed? Here in the straight beam, stresses are distributed as linear on the cross section. When it comes to curved beams, then curved beams, the bending stress, how do you determine the bending stresses? Then finally you get the stress, bending stress in the beam is mb by ae into yi by rn plus yi. Plus or bending stress is equal to plus or minus mb by ae into yi by rn plus yi. We substitute yi, that is equal to ci or c naught, then we will get bending stress at inner fiber and outer fiber. Then tensile in nature will get, that is positive side, compressive nature will get negative side. Now how the stress are distributed in curved beams? In curved beam the stress are distributed is non-linear in nature. The stress are at neutral axis 0 and at outer fiber stress are maximum. Again in curved beam, as you know that in straight beam the central and neutral axis are coincide, but in curved beam the neutral axis always lies toward the center of curvature, right? Then those are the difference between the straight beam and curved beam, and you can also give the example for straight beam and curved beam. That's the one differences. Next, stresses in curved beams. As you know that what are the stresses occurred in curved beam? The bending stress is equal to mb by ae plus or minus mb by ae into yi by rn plus yi's, right? Next we will go for design of curved beams. What are the problem varieties? Design of closed rings and design of chain links. Then compared to design of curved beams, closed rings and chain links, only the design procedure is same, but only the bending moment, maximum bending moment occurred at the sections are different. That's only the formula changes in design of closed rings and design of chain. The remaining procedure is the same as that of design of curved beams. Now we look on the design of curved beams. Now, what do you make design of curved beams? As you know that is related design of is curved beam is one of the machine element. It is an iterative process of assigning specifications of curved beam to withstand a load or to do its functions. That's the definition for design of curved beams. Now in that first we look at specification of curved beams. What are the different specification of curved beam? Then what are the loads the curved beam carries? Then from the load what are the stresses are developed? First we know the specification of curved beams. As you know the specifications are related to the shape, the size, material and its composition and arrangement of parts. Now first comes to a shape of chord beams. The shape is related to what? Geometry or the cross section. Usually the chord beams are, it may be a rectangular cross section, triangular, circular, square, I section, T section, I section, it may be symmetrical I section or unsymmetrical I section, etc. Those are the geometry or the cross section of the curved beam. Then comes to a size. Size related to what? Dimensions. The dimension, if you take a rectangle, what are the dimensions of the rectangle cross section? The breadth and thickness. If you go for circular cross section, what is the dimension? Diameter. And what will be the inner and outer radius of the chord beam? Those things are related to the size. Then material composition and methods. Here only go for material composition. The chord beams are usually made up of mysteel and cast iron and other materials also. Then arrangement of parts. What are the different chord beams you can get? They can get here C clamps, crane hooks, machine frames, close rings and chain links. Now these are the specifications of the chord beam, right? One is shape, that related to geometry. Second one is size, that related to dimensions. Third one related to materials, and fourth one is related to how the parts are arranged. Now then, how do you get these data? So designing the chord beams, you should first get these data. First, you note that here for go for the shape, the geometry or cross section, first you extract the geometrical properties or cross sectional properties for a given cross section, for a given type of the chord beam. Then for a given type of cross section, first you extract this for cross sectional properties. How do you get the cross sectional property or geometrical properties? Now go for refer the table 2.7 from the volume 1 in Design Data Handbook by Lingaya, Professor Lingaya. Right? For the given geometry or cross section, take area, cross sectional area A, and area moment of inertia and distance to the farthest point. What a distance to the farthest point means? From the centroidal axis to the outer fiber, usually at the bottom, x axis. Then these are directly we can get for regular cross sections such as rectangle, triangle, circle, square, you'll get. But for other sections, that is that is T section and unsymmetrical I section, how do you extract these geometrical properties? By knowing the elements of civil engineering subject or in engineering mechanics, you will be familiar with these formulas. How do you get area? Area is equal to summation of AIs, where I varies from 1 to n blocks, right? That is equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3. Then finding CG, how do you find the center of gravity of the center of geometry of the cross section? Okay, from the x-axis, that is y bar is equal to summation of AI ys, where I is varies from 1 to n, whole divided by summation of AIs, I is varies from 1 to n. These are formulas we use, right? A1 y1 plus A2 y2 plus A3 y3 etc. divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3 up to an. Then area moment of inertia about x-axis, I-axis is equal to I, that is equal to vector sum of, for rectangular blocks it is bi hi cube divided by 12 plus ai yi square, that varies from 1 to n. Then substitute I values 1 to n, then you will get the area moment of inertia. These are the properties, geometrical properties, cross-sectional properties for what type of section? T section or unsymmetric I section. Now for radius of neutral axis, the radius of neutral axis, how do you get here? By referring the table 25.2, right? Then for material properties, the first one, you know the geometrical property, right? The geometrical property, and then the size you will have to determine. Then metal composition methods, how do you get metal property? From metal property you will get from the, if a metal is given, then you go refer the chapter number 1 in the Design Data Handbook, take the heel strength and ultimate strength, right? Then go for this is only this related to specification of chord beam. Then you go for what are the different loads acting on chord beam. The loads, these are the loads are acting. First one, direct load, or that load acting along the axis or perpendicular to the axis of the beam, that is called transverse load or external movement. From the direct load, So what type of stresses will get? Direct stress will get. That's a force by area. Then for transverse load or moment, then what type of stresses will get? You'll get bending stress. This is a one type of load, direct load, or transverse load or external movement. Second one is eccentric load. Due to eccentric load, as you know that you have studied in the design of machine element 1, when member is subject to eccentric load, that produces two type of load. One is directly to the perpendicular axis, another one is transverse to the axis. That is what type of load you get? Direct load. From the direct load, what type of stress you get? Direct stress. Then due to eccentric load, another, due to that eccentricity of the load, the movement will get. What is the movement here? Force into perpendicular distance. From that, what type of stresses will get? Bending stress. Then what will be the, due to eccentric load, what are the stresses that develop? One is direct stress, another one is bending stress. Now what is the total stress here? That called as combined stress. The combined stress is a sum plus or minus of the summation of direct stress and bending stress. As you know that when you use plus, bending stress are tensile nature, then you go for use plus. When bending stress are compressive in nature, then you go for use negative sign. Then where will be the maximum stressor occurred? The maximum stresses are occurred in the curved beams is at inner fiber of the beam, right? Now next topic is how to determine stresses in curved beams. Now how to solve the problems in curved beams. This is procedure related to only to determine the stresses. Now next we will discuss what are different varieties of problems arise in curved beams. First procedure here only determine the stresses in curved beams. What is the first step you follow? First identify the type of curved beam, such as it may be a C clamp or the S clamp or crane hook, etc. And then the type of cross section. What type of cross section? It may be a rectangular, square, triangular, I section, T section. Then draw the sketch and show all the notations. How do you get the notation? Then go for F for the table 25.2 from the design data handbook. First step is identify the type of curved beams, then identify the type of cross section, then draw the sketch of the curved beam and along with the cross section and with the usual notations. Right? Then that's the first step. What is second step? Write the given datas. What are the given datas? It may be a cross-sectional dimensions, it may be a radius, inner and outer radius of the curved beam, and it may be the load acting on the curved beam. And if possible, if there is a unit conversion is required, then go for unit conversion. That's the second step. Third step, determine other datas of cross-section by referring table 2.7. What are the other datas of cross-section? It may be related to the cross-sectional area moment of inertia, and distance from farthest CG of the farthest point. And then if by referring the table 2.7 in the volume 1 data handbook, then refer the table 25.2 for determine the radius of neutral axis, and then go for determine the movement. What is the movement acting here? Due to eccentric load, right? One is direct load will come, and then eccentric load, right? Then after that, determine the stresses induced in the curved beams at inner and outer fiber by using appropriate formulas. I know that from the chapter number 25, right? You will get the different formulas. What are the bending stress at inner fiber and outer fiber? Use those formulas. Then determine the stresses induced in the curved beams at inner and outer fiber, such as direct stress, bending stress, and combined stress. This is a general procedure used to determine only the stresses in the curved beams. And if you want to solve the problems, already have given I post some the lecture videos in the YouTube. Then you go and solve those problems. Follow this procedure. Now, what are the problems varieties? The different varieties of problems arise in design of curved beams. First one is the determination of stresses induced at critical cross section of the curved beam, such as what are those stresses? Such as direct, bending, and combined stresses. That what we in the last topic we discussed, how to determine stresses induced in the curved beam. The procedure you should follow. This is the first variety of problem is determine only stresses induced in the curved beam and also plot how the stresses are distributed. Second variety of problem is determination of maximum load carrying capacity of the curved beam. means here the load is unknown here, then you go for determine what will be the maximum load carrying capacity, right? How do you get? By giving allowable or maximum stresses are given in the problem, then that you consider as the maximum stresses occurred in the inner fiber, then you determine F value. Now you will get two F values you will get, out of which one you consider, the smaller and larger value. Always the maximum load carrying capacity will be a smaller load. The design should be a safe, further to consider a smaller load carrying capacity. The third variety of problem is determination of the cross-sectional dimensions and other dimensions of the given curved beams. The cross-sectional of the curved beams for a given type of cross-section of the curved beams, that is such a breadth, thickness, the diameter, inner and outer radius. If you go for determine the inner and outer radius or diameters, now which dimensions will consider, the smaller or larger? For a safe design, we go for dimension should be a larger value. Now these are three varieties of problem. One is determine the stresses induced in the curved beam. Then second one is determine the maximum load carrying capacity in the curved beam, and third one determine the cross-sectional and other dimensions of the given curved beams. Now in problems you can see for these determinations you can see that some statements are given. What is the first statement? If both extreme fiber stresses are numerically equal in pure bending moment, and is given this statement is given. What is the statement? If both extreme fibers means inner and outer fibers, right, the stresses are numerically equal in pure bending moment, then once is given, then take this equation. The bending stress at inner fiber is equal to bending stress at outer fiber, that is bending stress sigma bi is equal to sigma b naught. Now substitute what is sigma bi, mb by ae into ci by ri. What is bending stress outer fiber? mb by a into c naught by r naught. Ci c naught are referred as a distance from neutral axis to the inner fiber, this one is outer fiber. Now you get the remaining thing is get, you will get finally ci in terms of c naught will get, right? This is the first equation. From the given problem, ci plus c naught is given, then called as equation number 2. Once you solve these two equations, equation 1 and 2, now we will get ci and ci values. Once you compare the equation 1 and 2, you will get ci c naught values, then determine other dimensions of the curved beam, that is ri and r naught. Now in the problem, the statement is if material of the beam is given, directly the material name is Maya steel, cast iron, etc. That directly the metal is given of the curved beam, then you will go for refer the chapter number 1 in design data handbook for corresponding material in the table, then take yield strength and ultimate strength of the material. If it is a ductile material, go for take yield strength. If it is brittle material, go for take ultimate strength of the material. Then take it as the maximum stresses in the beam, that is maximum stress occurred at inner fiber, right? Sigma ri is equal to sigma maximum, that is equal to either sigma y or sigma yt. Second, if the allowable stress is given in the problem, directly allowable stress directly is given in the problem, take that allowable stress as a maximum stress. There's two varieties here. One is directly the given material, then go for refer the chapter number 1 design data handbook. Second one, if directly given allowable stress, then take that as a maximum stresses. Third variety is instead of these two material and then they given factor of safety. As you know that once you given factor of safety in the problem, what is the definition of factor of safety? It is a failure stress to the allowable stress. The failure stress will consider either it may be yield strength or ultimate strength, and allowable stress is sigma allowable or working stress or design stress. From this we calculate sigma allowable. Sigma allowable is equal to sigma y or sigma yt divided by factor of safety, that is equal to maximum stress induced in the curved beam. These are statements you will get, then you will go for make it small, the simplification, then you solve this. Now you will go for solve the problems. If you have any doubt, please contact to my number. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you one and all.